Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Profit Producers and our current tribe members. I am your host, DeKesha Williams, the webinar and business strategist. And I'm excited about today's guest, our decorated Dr. Erica Anthony. I just want to do that so I can get her to smile. We're excited to have her here. She is definitely an expert in the leadership development for both entrepreneurs and career-driven women and men, but typically she works a lot with women. So we're excited to have her here on the Profit Producers Podcast. Erica is actually one of our clients as well. And so hopefully I can get her to tell you some of the things that she has that's coming up. So Erica, welcome to the Profit Producers Podcast.
Thank you so very much. I'm excited to be here. So I'm happy that you have me here with you this morning or today.
So listen, if you are watching us live, regardless of the platform that you are on, please make sure that you comment below. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you have a team, if you're in a leadership role as well, whether it is in an entrepreneurial space or in a more corporate perspective. All right, so let's just get straight. Let's just get straight to it. I'm gonna tell you now. You work with me, so you know it's not gonna be all like hello. No, we're not doing that. Now I am gonna ask you some questions, right? Because we want to help the people.
Yes.
Right? Yes. But I might throw you a question that is just not. And the reason why I do that, right? I have a tendency I send out these lists, these questions. And y'all be ready to answer. And I'm like, we want the people to really know who you are, right? Okay. So one of the things that I realize is that people connect with people that they can relate to. And so when they see us online, and I say this all the time, when they see us online, they create this persona of what they think or who they think we are, but they really don't know Erica.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't know. So let me just start by saying this. Erica, where are you from?
I'm originally from Chicago, so Chicago's home for me.
Out of Chicago.
The south side of Chicago.
You know what I'm saying? You look at her, you would never know. She is from the south side of Chicago. I love it. I love it. And so now you are in the Maryland area. What in the world brought you from south side of Chicago to Maryland?
It's so funny because I tell people I'm working on like my third and final career because I've moved around some, right? So what landed me here is a job opportunity. I didn't move here. I didn't know anyone, no family, no friends, anything. But it was meant for me to be here at this time. So it was definitely a journey and definitely multiple steps that had to be implemented to get me here at this point in time right now.
So the position that you are in right now, is it something that was like on a vision board, or was it something that you saw available and you worked your way up the ranks? Like, how did you get to where you currently are?
Okay, so right now I'm an academic, right? And so I never in my life thought that I would be an academic as well as an entrepreneur. That was never on my, when you are a child and they ask you, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? This was not it. I thought that I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I thought I was going to be traveling the world and just look fabulous, going through the process, right? So I really thought that I was going to be a high profile executive when I started my career, my professional journey. So, and I guess I might as well give a little background. When I started off, my degree is in electrical engineering, and then I ended up working for a very large company for aviation. And so commercial aviation division, as a matter of fact. And so I did that. I loved it. I had an opportunity to either pursue my MBA or they had a project working out in Paris. And so they said, hey, we have this. Yes, we have this opportunity where our client is from Paris. So you would have opportunity of working very closely with this client. What are your thoughts? And although it was very intriguing, I was afraid that if I didn't go back, because I always knew when I was working on my undergraduate degree in engineering that I wanted to get my MBA. I just wanted to get some work experience first.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, if this opportunity, I don't want to get in a situation where I just don't ever go back. So I made the decision to pursue my MBA. And once I, completed that degree, I next decided to work in telecom and did that. And I was like, this is great. I love this. I'm able to use my analytical experience with my business experience. And so I really thought again that I wanted to go a certain path in telecom. But what I found is that I was really intrigued by the human capital aspect of everything. There was so much going on between, mergers and spinoffs and things. And I really cared about how that impacted the people working for these various organizations, the culture, the morale, and things like that. So I was teaching part-time while I was there, working for the telecom company. And someone said, had you ever thought about getting your PhD? And I said, oh, absolutely not. Like, why would I want to do that? Like, I'm trying to, climb my way a corporate ladder, network and just be this corporate diva is what I thought I wanted to be. But the more I thought about it, and I guess that conversation was very triggering for me. And so, yes, I left a full-time job again to go and get my PhD. And that was the best decision I could have made, because while I was there, I'm learning more about what motivates people. I'm conducting research in the area. I had a mentor who also had his own consulting business. So I was able to work with him on a few projects. And I'm like, I like this. Like, I care about emotional intelligence. I care about leadership and teamwork and culture and all these other things. And so this is where I want my life to go. And so once I completed my degree, job opportunity landed here in Maryland. And so packed up my bags. I'm here. Everybody was like, you don't know anyone there. You're just moving around the country. I'm like, that's what I do. Because if I don't challenge myself and if I allow a fear to set in, I will never be able to realize the potential growth and opportunities and blessings that would be before me.
I love that. I love that. Well, welcome to the East Coast. Okay.
Well, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So now, okay, so you're in a leadership role now, right?
Yes.
And so you have kind of taken this space and really created this desire to give back, right? So in your experience, what has been one of like the biggest challenges that leaders face in today's business environment and corporate environment? Let's talk about that.
It's the human capital piece. Absolutely. I can tell you, being in my role right now, I have about almost 30 unique personalities that I have to manage on a day-to-day basis. Some of them, I wish I could karate chop them to the throat. I'm be honest, right? We're being transparent here because no one wants to talk. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, being a leader is all roses.
It's beautiful."
It's not. It's work. And one of the things that I think as a leader is because of the fact that you always have to think about what each and every one of these individuals, what motivates them. Because what may motivate one is going to be different than what's going to motivate the other. And so, and how to engage them, how to communicate with them. I can probably send a very quick hit, like, a response to an email, and someone would get me in a job and they move on. Someone else may view it as being rude and abrasive. So I have to honestly monitor how I communicate and engage each and every one of these individuals on a daily basis and what drives them. Some are very transactional. Some are very intrinsic, intrinsically motivated versus extrinsically motivated. So it's really the human capital piece, because that's the only way you get work done. You need the people in order to do the work. You need the people to make sure that sales are growing. You need the people to make sure that HR is you're following HR guidelines. It's the people. So a lot of times people think that leadership is beautiful, but it comes with a lot of challenges as well. I mean, I love being a leader.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I always have to remind myself is that even with those challenging moments, who is it that I want to be? How is it that I want to be remembered? And to make sure that I stand in my integrity and consistency across the board. So that way, that's never questioned. And so a lot of times people can't be emotionally triggered and
Mhm.
respond according to those emotions. Sometimes you have to be willing to say, although I want to karate chop this person in their throat, I need to take a step back. I need to be calm and make sure I make a truly objective and fair decision, regardless of who it is or the situation at hand. And a lot of times people, we don't think about that.
I love that. Well, and let me ask you this too, because I know that you work with both entrepreneurs and corporate.
Yes.
Um, do you think the role of a leader differs based on you being an entrepreneur versus like corporate environment?
No, because think about it. A lot of people who work in corporate America are entrepreneurs at heart or have an
Mhm.
entrepreneurial mindset. And that's what we want because we entrepreneurs are considered what? Very innovative,
Right.
very resilient. And so we want those people in corporate America as well. So it still is a matter of how to manage regardless if it's corporate America or in a larger corporate environment versus a smaller, small business environment. It
Mhm.
still is a matter of you want somebody who is going to believe in the mission and vision of the company. You
Right.
want someone who is going to be innovative. You want someone that operates with integrity. You want someone who has initiative. These are just some of the basic foundational sort of attributes that you want from your employees, regardless of if it's a corporate or entrepreneurial environment.
And I'm glad that you said that because I work mostly with entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
And I think as an entrepreneur, we take for granted that we have to develop our leadership skills.
Hmm.
Like a lot of entrepreneurs focus on revenue generating activities,
Yep.
right? I mean, you see consistently online how to build a six-figure business and how to have your first five-figure launch. And, everything is revenue based. But how are you going to grow and scale that business if you don't have an effective team?
Yeah. And that is very true.
I mean, I'll be the one to tell you with the year that I've had, my team is really what kept the business moving and
Hmm.
flowing,
Hmm.
right? And so if I didn't take time to check myself as a leader, I would have very high turnover. Like majority of my team have been with me. The most recent hire, let's not even think about the new people that I've hired because I've hired like three new people. Okay, they don't even count.
Hmm.
They just were hired within 45 days.
Hmm.
But outside of that, the most recent person I've hired been with me for 12 months.
Hmm.
Everyone else has been with me over 5 to 6 years. Everyone. So when I say 90% of my team have been with me over 5 years, I think that says something about myself and leadership skills
Yeah.
and the environment that we create here at Visions Consulting.
Hmm.
But I don't think that a lot of entrepreneurs step back and take a look at themselves as leaders. They look at themselves as small business owners,
Yes.
but do you consider yourself a leader? I don't even care if you have one or two people on your team. It doesn't matter. And and as we shift into like the what I like to call a profit producing moment, and regardless whether it's leadership, right? Because this is always where you can implement a strategy in your business. And I didn't talk about that and I lost my train of thought. But um they consider themselves a small business owner, but they don't consider themselves a leader. So they
Yeah.
don't take the time. I don't think that they take as much time to invest in their leadership development or
Hmm.
personal development as much as they invest in coaches to help them grow their business.
Yep.
Right.
Hmm.
So we have you here. And so, as a leadership coach, what are the top strategies you recommend to entrepreneurs to enhance their leadership skills for better business outcomes?
Well, you know what? It's so funny you say that because as you were going through and just providing that sort of framework, I was thinking about some of the conversations that I've had with plenty of entrepreneurs or even what we consider small business owners, right?
Mhm.
Because one of the things that I do, I facilitate a couple of courses for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business here in the Maryland
Come
area.
on, plug. Okay, I'm sorry.
So I work closely with entrepreneurs. And it's so funny, they're part of this program, and, it's easy for them to think about the accounting, the finances, the marketing. They can think about that. But it's not until they take my leadership course that they're just like, oh my gosh, I've never thought about leadership in this way. It just wasn't even a part of like really a priority for them in their business
Mm.
because they're thinking about everything else. So I have leadership and I have, the HR piece. But let's talk about the leadership. So we spend some time and we, go through this self-discovery of who they are as a leader, who are the people that work for them and why they work for them. And it's like,
Mm.
it's such an eye-opening sort of day and exercises. And so one of the things as a leader, this is something that I would challenge, entrepreneurs that are not even part of this program is that, yes, if you want to sit back and do the hard work, then yes, I would absolutely say spend some time with a coach, such as myself, because I would spend time working with you to make sure you have that whole self discovery of who you are as a leader. Who are the people who work for you? Why do they work for you? And what is it that you do to contribute to your environment for people like, as you just stated, DeKesha, there's be like, 5, 6 years, that's huge. I'm good. I like working here. This is the company. It makes me, feel quite comfortable. I feel that I can be a positive contributor. I feel like my voice is being heard. And I like that. I have people who work for me right now. I tell them, go, you're more than what you're doing right now. Go soar, spread your wings. And they're like, no, I want to work for you because one, they like the fact of how I lead and manage. And those are two different things, on a
Mhm.
daily basis, but they understand, about being fair. They understand with being, motivational. They understand the importance for me of setting a vision. And a lot of times we spend so much time in the weeds of what we're doing day to day. We fail to understand that having that vision and sharing that is so important for people to be motivated and say, okay, now I know why we're going in this direction. I want to help run this race with you and for you. And I want to be a part of this team. So when you sit down and you work with a coach, a leadership coach, these are some of the things that you will spend some time working on. And of course, we have assessments and things like that. But our job is to be here to ask you the tough questions. Our job is to stretch you because you may not have thought certain things about yourself, your capabilities, your strengths, and areas that you also may feel that you may need to develop a little bit further. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here.
I love that. So I'm not ignoring you, but I got like a page of notes.
I thought you were scribbling notes. So I was just like, oh, she's writing some things down.
I
That means
am like I'm
me.
literally writing notes on my piece of paper. Yeah. You not only for me, but
Uh-huh.
baby, this little you know how my brain works. So look, it's gonna be a call after this. Um,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
but no, so that is absolutely perfect.
Mhm.
So if for those of you all that are listening, and I think this is very important. So when you said that, it made me go, well, wait a minute, why do they work for me? The
Mhm.
fact that you can't answer that. It's
Mhm.
like, I know, I mean, they've been with me long enough. They know, they know when DeKesha wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. Like they know all D is on one today. I'm just gonna do my work and stay out of slack. Uh, but I know that they feel the family environment. And I can say that because today, one of my designers who's based out of India asked me, how's your daughter doing?
Mhm.
I see her, she's wonderful at what she does, but just the fact that they feel comfortable enough to ask me about my family tells me that I have created an environment where it's welcoming.
Yep.
So for you all that is listening and wherever you're watching this, I want you to think about if you have a team. I don't even care if it's one person on your team, two people on your team, minimum, right? I want you to think about it. And I want you to answer this. And I want you to tag Dr. Erica Anthony in this video. But you're probably going to find her on social media as Erica Anthony. But okay. Yeah, I did. And I want you to tag her and I want you to let her know, like, why do you think your team and don't cheat. Like, don't cheat. Yeah. Like, answer it when you watch, right? Answer the question. Then comment below with your answer. Then go back to your team and ask them and see how your response aligns with what they said. I think that's a very good profit producing strategy that they can implement right now. I love that. So, so it was one thing I wanted to challenge them. Like my mind does not stop. I know. Well, here's what's funny though, because y'all kill me on our call and it's like, but it's the profit producing podcast. Like, how does my industry relate to the profit producing podcast? Yeah. But then when they show up and I make it relate, they be like, dang, DeKesha, like, how you do that? Right? Okay. So y'all get to see behind the scenes. Like, this is how we do on our calls. Okay. So we talked about one strategy that they can implement. So I think this is pretty cool. So then I told them, so this is my assignment, because we always have the profit producing moment is always in the podcast about what can I do right now in my business? Oh, I know what the question was. The question was, how does leadership and team development, how does that impact the bottom line?
That's a good question. And when I think about team, I think about a collective group, right? Because you need to have some level of synergy there collectively as a whole, right? We're not talking about, I work with DeKesha, I work with, Victoria, I work with, no, it's collectively. How does DeKesha, Victoria, and Erica, work as a unit? Correct. And so you need to make sure that you create an environment where people can feel vulnerable with one another, because there may be some things that are strengths of some people that may not necessarily be strengths of others, and that's okay. That's the reason why you have a team. Yep. If one person could do absolutely everything, I mean, you don't want that, simply because of the fact that you don't want anyone to have any burnout. Right? Come on. So you got to think about all these things. So you want a collective sort of unit. So what you do is you make sure that there's an opportunity for you all to work together, to communicate often, because a lot of times people don't believe that communication is the key. And I bring this up because you can have people that are all physically in the same office together and not develop that synergy, but you can have people who are all remote and have better synergy than people who are physically together. The first start of that is communication. The second thing is spend some time as a leader getting to know each and every one of these individuals and their uniqueness, right? Maybe they have, a favorite, collection of, Marvel figures. I'm just doing that because right now, Marvel is on my mind because I want to catch a movie coming up soon. And then someone else may have a love for flowers. You find out and spend some time getting to know your people individually, and then you bring them together and provide them with opportunities to network and get to know one another as well. And you do that outside of work. Because when you create that sort of environment, oh yeah, I know DeKesha, she loves flowers and things like that. So now when DeKesha and Victoria get a chance to talk, and DeKesha knows that Victoria likes Marvel figures or whatever that case may be, that's something unique. They've created a bond. And so you have this sort of group dynamic that when, something needs to get done, they need to call on one another. Yeah, and absolutely. DeKesha, don't worry about it. I got it. Oh, you know what? You need to take some time off, vacation, whatever the case may be. You know what? I'll help cover these, these areas of your task. And, we got this all figured out. So you develop them together. It starts from a personal relationship. And that's what communication, getting to know them and then creating opportunities for them to get to know one another. That's not necessarily a part of the work environment, just to kind of allow them to be them.
I love that.
And so, with that synergy, everything else has it just overlaps into everything else.
And I'm going to share my story, even though you're supposed to share a story too. But
yeah, we're sharing. It's fine.
But sharing is caring. But
Yeah.
I think it's important to share because this is exactly what I experienced as I was building my team. One of my team members had been with me for 6 years, knew how to do everything in the business, right?
Mhm.
I really saw them in a leadership role, but they never wanted to be in a leadership role.
Right.
And it would drive me crazy because I wanted this person to take leadership and to help train other people, and they did not want it to do it.
No.
And I'm like, well, what the hell do you want to do?
Mhm.
They're like, I want to do exactly what it is that I'm doing. But what? There's no advancement in that.
Yeah.
They're like, but I'm still learning.
Hmm.
And so if I would have forced this person to be in a leadership role, they would have been unhappy.
Yeah.
Versus being in a position where they can continue to learn, more because I work in the online space. So we always work with technology and different programs. Like
Mhm.
they love that side. They love the technology side. They didn't want to spend time teaching other people and managing other people. Nope. Mm-mm. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
And that was the aha moment for me because I just saw so much in this particular person, but I couldn't force my desires on my teammates.
Right.
It makes me sad.
No, it shouldn't though.
I
Because
know.
when you have that revelation and you understand, what their desires, what drives them, then you know how to better engage them and how that individual is best suited to help, engage the team. So
And they
to
did a phenomenal job right where they were. They excelled right where they were.
Exactly. And so there's other ways that maybe she doesn't necessarily want to do training
Mhm.
directly. But one of
Right.
the things, you working in technology space, you know what? Okay, just happened, I'm not really quite clear how you go about doing this. Can you do me a favor and just kind of go through a video just with yourself explaining how you got to A to Z? And,
Right.
let's just, right? Technically, you have a training video that should
Mhm.
somebody, happen to be unavailable. Hey, I'm not quite sure how this person did A, B, and C. You know what? I think there's a video of that. So here we go. And that way, the business still moves forward. That
Right.
person is now learning probably something new because the idea of recording some of the things that they do maybe has not been a thought process before. So you find innovative and creative ways of making sure that, one, you're meeting the needs of your team, because everyone develops differently. Everyone wants to do something different. And guess what? What we consider to be growth may be different than their vision of growth, and that's okay too. But then you find creative ways as well of making sure that you're still growing your business.
Well, look at that. Well, hopefully, you guys that are watching has picked up some type of leadership revenue generating tips from the Profit Producers podcast and the leadership expert Erica Anthony, Dr. Erica Anthony herself. So as we close out, I always like to do a fun round because I actually know Erica on a more personal level. And so I like for our audience to get to know her as well. So I'm going to ask, she does not know what I'm about to ask. I always change it up because they always try to be prepared. So, what is one thing that most people don't know about you?
I don't like this question. Okay. And so, yeah, I don't. Look, you giving me the platform, right? And I believe in being vulnerable and transparent, right? And for the audience, let me tell you, I am a type A personality. I like the questions in
You
advance. So
want them
I
in advance.
didn't think about my answers. And no, because she knows that's me, she had to change the game up, right? And then yeah, so I just got to be transparent. I think what people don't know, and this will change frequently,
Mhm.
and because I'm in a season right now that's different from a previous season that I was
Okay.
in, and then the next season is going to be different than the season I am right now. Is that as I talk about leadership, I'm talking about leadership during a season right now where that is my biggest struggle. I
Mm.
say that because I have, I'm dealing with, like just a lot of grief.
Mhm.
Um, and so, and even like it just it's hit me hard even this week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I still have to, yeah, with holidays and
Yeah.
everything. Like, I was sitting up here trying to buy some flowers, and literally I'm crying in the store over flowers. And I know people are like, what's wrong with her that she's crying? But dealing with the grief and still having to show up for work and to lead
Mhm.
people and to be objective. When I talk about wanting to karate chop people in their throat, emotionally, that's how I was feeling. But the saving grace and blessing is that I have a team. I have multiple teams. I have, my team for my academic side. I have my team for my entrepreneurship side, that when I am not my best, they're
Mhm.
holding it down for me.
I love it.
So, and that has helped me to get through. So I have to still challenge myself to be objective, right?
Mhm.
I have to put myself on timeout when I'm not necessarily 100%. If I'm working at 50%, that's a blessing some days. And 80%, I'm giving myself, pom-poms.
Yeah.
But leading during the most challenging times, this is that season for me. And so that's why when we talk about leadership, it's something that's so passionate, especially during this season for me, because, you still have to find ways of moving forward. You still have to be vulnerable and let your team know, I can't do this. This is where I need help. Can you do this for me? Because again, you still need to be productive. You still need to be successful. You still have all of these other expectations. And you just, you can't, yeah, life still has to go forward. The business isn't, you work too hard to get to where you're at right now with your business. And I'm speaking to somebody I know right now, to allow it to fall to the side. You work too hard with your accomplishments to get where you are right now, to let it go to the side. And so now it's okay to say, I need help, and let me make sure I rely on my team to continue moving forward, because that is what is expected of you. But it's okay with that expectation, because you can rise to the occasion to do so. So that is something that many people don't know about me, is that, just this season right now, they see the posts, they see the social media, they see the cute pictures, and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is great. She's perfect. Everything is happening. No, not right now. And even with the smile, it's
But you
challenging.
do a fantastic job of pushing through.
Well,
I must
thank
say
you.
so myself. You do a fantastic job of pushing through.
Thank you.
So what's your favorite genre of music?
Um, you know what? I'm an old R&B classic.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it.
I grew up with. I have a record player in my home right now. So albums. So that's how I grew up. So I'm R&B classic, 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm just like that
I
causes
knew it, y'all.
everything to
I knew this
pause.
outside of Chicago would love some R&B.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Who's your favorite artist?
Really, DeKesha? Oh my gosh. I don't know. It depends, because sometimes a Marvin Gaye song will come on. I kind of pause. Al Green will
Little
cause me to
Luther.
pause. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question.
All right, I'll take the two that you gave me.
Yeah, Whitney
So the
Houston.
last one that I'll ask you
Uh,
is, what book are you reading right now?
I'm reading a mystery novel.
Really?
Yes.
Is
I
that what you do to kind of get your mind off of everything else?
How did you know? Yes.
Just
A
a
good
lucky guess.
mystery novel will do it for me every time. I love it. And I find it's relaxing. And so, yeah, I'm reading a mystery novel right now.
What's the name of it?
I
If
don't.
you don't know the name of it,
I
no.
was gonna say it's not that far, but yes,
No.
I don't remember. I wasn't prepared for that question.
In her defense, because I'm gonna tell you, somebody is gonna watch and they're gonna be like, did you ever figure out the name of that book?
And I will be able, when that question comes, I will be able to respond. I will.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, we want to thank Dr. Erica Anthony for being here on the Profit Producers Podcast. This has totally been a blast. I know she has a free gift, so I'll let you tell us a little bit about that free gift, and then we'll drop the link wherever the podcast is going to be, because it's going to be simulcast kind of a couple of different, a little bit everywhere.
Look, I know. Thank you, DeKesha. So the free gift, right? Come spend some time with me. I have a 30-minute discovery session. So that way I can understand a little bit better about you, your business, your goals, who you are as a leader, and your leadership goals. So 30 minutes, a complimentary discovery call with me. So spend some time. I know that there'll be a link provided where you can schedule that 30-minute session with me.
I love it. I love it. So is there anything that we can expect from you in the near future?
Oh, well, I've been giving this homework assignment for a retreat that's coming up.
Yes, retreat.
You heard that response, so you're not. I guess you can guess who gave me this homework assignment. But yeah, so I will definitely have a leadership series. So definitely be on the lookout for that, as well as planning a leadership. A leadership retreat for the first quarter of 24.
Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Well, listen, y'all show some love for Dr. Erica Anthony here on the Profit Producers Podcast. Check out our show notes. We'll want to make sure that we keep you up to date what's going on in the visions consulting world and what we're expecting in the next 6 to 12 months as well. We have opportunities to be a guest on the podcast. We have opportunities to be on some summits that we're doing. So stay connected. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you get connected on social media with Dr. Erica Anthony as well. And as I always sign off, be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. We'll see you next time.